A lot of people talk about high school and a lot more talk about college, but not too many people talk about what happens after college. Now, I want you to pause the video now and just think about what you think happens after college. In fact, if you want, pause the video and leave your statements in the comments below on what you think happens after college. I'll wait. Okay, so now that you've done that, let me just tell you what the reality is. Now, we've obviously heard the term recession tossed around here and there, but in honesty, it's true. The economy has gotten a little bit worse, but if you look at the media, I mean, the media never really took a blow in terms of pop culture stuff. So you never saw Justin Bieber walking around in rags or so forth. And yeah, certain venues of entertainment, the venues that most kids focus on during this time, they didn't really take a hit. But what I'm leading to is that after college, it's rough. A college degree, it used to signify a lot back in the olden days when that was like the highest sort of degree possible. But nowadays it's so common, and one could say that the competition has gotten stiffer. People are just naturally smarter, and therefore it's harder to do this. And this goes back to biology and natural selection, and how sort of when you have this environment where intelligence is required and love, then natural selection, obviously, people tend to get smarter with every generation. And so, long story short, college, after colleges can be rough. I've seen people who did decent in college, they got good degrees, and now they're working at a retail job, getting minimum wage or close to minimum wage. And these are people who obviously weren't the top of the class, but decent major, decent grades, and yeah, that's how it is. Now, this obviously isn't the case as always. I mean, we always hear tales of law school, graduate school, med school, and quite honestly, that's very tough to get into. The percentages of people who get into that, like I have this pamphlet right here, the percentages are just ridiculous. Let me just read these out to you. 3,995 applied to this law school. Guess how many made it in? 225. Now, I don't know what this means. Oh yes, 50 got into the evening program and 225 got into the day program. And looking at a nation as large as US with millions, that's not a lot of room for error. And so it's tough. It's very tough to get into these things. And everyone kind of just slides it under the cover as to what happens next. And most people with sort of embarrassing jobs sort of don't mention it, and they just fade off in the distance, sort of in this line of work. And, I'm not saying this with stinginess or anything, but it's kind of the truth. That's why I have to bring it up. There's definitely undergrad students who sort of major in communications or some sort of useless major, and they get these grades because the major is so lax. They take the minimum amount of credits. Why all this? Because they're looking to have the best 4 years of their life in college. That's what we hear all the time, right? So they party it up, they drink, etc., etc. And sure, some of them might have the best time of their lives in college. They might sort of think that they're like the kings or queens of college. And the thing is, if you do that, you gotta be careful, because a lot of times you forget that it's only 4 years, and then boom, you're out of college and the only places that are considering you are McDonald's. And I wish it was different. And I mean, it's not that difficult. Like if you just try, you don't party that much. You join like some sort of honors fraternity. You put in the work. You have a plan, and you go out and you settle on a solid major and work towards that major and put in the effort and get an internship in college. These things will help you. I mean, I know accounting majors or financing majors who have solid jobs after college, but quite honestly, especially if you're going to a sort of state level university, the majority of the numbers, they sort of just funnel into these very expected sort of jobs, these non-glamorous sort of jobs. And I don't know if it was just where I lived, but I lived on the east coast of the US, and at least in high school, a lot of people, they had sort of these huge fantasy level dreams. And maybe it was due to the influence of the mainstream media, or maybe it was just how we lived, what we watched on TV, or what our parents told us, or all of these. But we had all these people saying, oh, I want to go to Cornell or New York University or Harvard. And the day would come and yeah, people would go quiet, or people would sort of redirect that sort of pride towards other schools that were less quality. And sure, occasionally we would get the select few out of hundreds who would make it into Harvard or Stanford. But it's tough out there. It's really tough. And so you're probably wondering where I stand. Well, let me just give you a very, very quick life story. So, in high school, I grew up around a crowd that was intelligent. A very, very small crowd, you could say, like 1 to 3 people roughly. One in particular, and he had huge dreams, and he had the intelligence and hard work to sort of back it up. And I guess I followed him because either I admired it, or because my parents sort of directed me towards that as well. So that was cool, and things changed for sure. I fell behind, and it was due to a variety of reasons. The main one was just a lack of interest, I guess you could say, and that sort of propagated to college, which is where I'm at now. Right now I'm a senior in college, starting my year, and I don't know what to do because I spent all my time sort of along this track to med school, and at the same time realizing maybe this isn't for me, maybe this isn't what I'm interested in. And yeah, it's kind of late. My mom got mad. It's very late when I sort of figured this out, and right now it's the start of senior year, the exact start of it, and I'm at a kind of loss, and the deadlines are encroaching. Some of them may have already passed, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really don't. Yeah, it's just like I don't know if I really want to spend all these years at another school doing something I'm not passionate about. But with the economy and how I know it is, my mom's pretty much told me that it's not always about like finding the job you love. It's about the job, how tough the economy is. And so I don't know. I think my mom just wants me to find something. So I guess my options are simply like graduate school, research, dental school, law school, maybe some sort of upper education, and at the same time finding some sort of job. And with what I have now, which is going to be just a college degree, Bachelor of Science, I believe, it's not that it's not going to warrant anything. I mean, that might not even get me a job at Sears. I mean, it's so tough just because there's few openings, there's zero openings anywhere, like no job openings. So it's tough. Obviously, it's not the Great Depression, but yeah, that's the whole point of this video. It's a little bit of a shattering of a fantasy, but that's how it is. And I kind of grew up sort of watching all these YouTube videos and TV shows and seeing all these kids becoming like actresses and actors and singers, and even the people on YouTube, they would start up YouTube channels and they would be very successful and sort of transgress because they as a sort of backup cushion, you know, they could fall back on YouTube because they're making enough. But for me, it's not the same. I'm pretty sure my YouTube is not going anywhere. So what can I say? You gotta face the truth, and it's tough. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's already pretty late. I guess leave your comments below if you have any suggestions, but I don't know. From what I've heard, just with my college degree, I can't really get anything, and it's tough. I don't know. I might just get a job at McDonald's, because I don't even know if I'm capable of getting, or if I can waste that time. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. Peace.